Welcome back to the Football No Lie podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be recapping Week 5 and predicting Week 6 of the NFL season. Starting off, as always, with Thursday Night Football. We have the Pittsburgh. No, I'm tripping. I'm looking at Week 3. We have the Indianapolis Colts and the Denver Broncos. Fucking shit show of a game. Probably the worst game of the season. 12-9. Matt Ryan threw for 251 yards, 2 interceptions. Leading rusher for the Colts was Deion Jackson without Jonathan Taylor, who rushed for 62 yards. Alec Pierce with 81 yards receiving. Michael Pittman with 59. No team really did anything, on the offensive end. Russell Wilson also threw 2 interceptions. Melvin Gordon only 54 yards and 15 carries. Cortland Sutton 74 yards receiving. The defenses did all right. No one really did anything special though. But yeah, it was definitely a defensive-oriented game. What are your thoughts on this game? Because me and Tages both picked the Colts. I think Hudson picked the Broncos.
Yeah, I had a solid feeling that the Broncos were going to actually win this game, but obviously this probably was the worst game of the season, and we're like not even halfway in yet. 12-9, only game of field goals, and it ended on a terrible decision from Nathaniel Hackett going for it on fourth. It wasn't the worst decision, I would say, but just the play call you made for it is kind of what made up my mind on that. So Broncos fans really want Nathaniel Hackett out the door. I would say he's on the hot seat. You make this trade for Russell Wilson. You want to say you're a win-now team, and here you are starting the season off very sluggish. So, and as for the Colts, they obviously had intentions to win this division after trading for a win-now quarterback, and that is not going anywhere either. So two teams that have not been good so far this season and didn't really make anybody have any different opinions after the game.
Yeah, just a really super sloppy game. Both offenses were really shit. I mean, we already knew this though. We already knew that the Broncos were absolute trash. And the Colts just struggled. And obviously without Jonathan Taylor, they were bound to struggle. Big win for the Colts though. Like the Broncos should have won this game, except for the idiocy of Russell Wilson and Nathaniel Hackett deciding to throw on third down with a minute left. It just doesn't make sense to me. I really wish this game ended in a tie. That would have been the perfect thing for the way to end this game. But nonetheless, Stephon Gilmore showed up at the end, and the Colts won. And there's nothing else to say about this game other than the fact that it was a snooze fest. And I feel really bad for Amazon Prime. I think they paid, I forgot, it was a crazy amount of money for Thursday night games, and they have two of the most snooze fest games on the docket for these 2 weeks coming up. Just, I feel really bad.
I couldn't even watch the game, bro. Like it was all field goals. Russell Wilson is washed. It looks like the Broncos lost the trade from what we've seen so far. I'm not gonna lie. But the Colts don't even look that much better themselves. The Colts look ass as well. Like, how do you the Colts have to be the most inconsistent team? How do you beat the Chiefs and then lose like this in like 2 weeks in a row in this fashion? I know you didn't have John. I mean, you won this week, but I know you didn't have Jonathan Taylor, but you looked awful. You only won because of some questionable decisions by Nathaniel Hackett, who should be on the hot seat. I know it's his first year, but there's no way this team is this bad right now. Yeah, as you said, these Thursday night games don't get any better. Moving on to who these teams play next. The Colts play the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have cooled down after a nice start. Took an L to the Texans, 13-6. Another very low-scoring game. Trevor Lawrence. Where did Trevor Lawrence? 286 yards, 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. Didn't have a good game. ETN, 10 carries, 71 yards rushing. Marvin Jones had 104 yards receiving with 7 receptions. He had a good game. And the defense played all right. Davis Mills didn't really do much. It was really Dameon Pierce who won that game for the Texans with 99 yards rushing and his touchdown. they had nice win for the Texans, first win of the season, after tying 1 and losing 3, and then the Jaguars slipped to 2 and 3.
Yeah, I think for the review, just the QB stats are good, but yeah, this was a game. I felt like I had a gut feeling that the Texans could pull this one out, especially after a lot of people were overhyping the Jaguars. But yeah, the Texans were able to win this game. Dameon Pierce really broke out. I know a lot of fantasy owners who took him early, had him on the bench after not so well start to the season, but yeah, had a huge 75-yard touchdown that really sparked the Texans up. Neither team was really good all day, but the Texans were able to pull this one out. Like I said, I think the Jaguars have been overrated a bit this season. I think there's a fair chance they still do not make the playoffs again.
So Dameon Pierce didn't have a 75-yard touchdown. That was last week, but he still had a monster game this week. You're good, Hudson. Nonetheless, big win for the Texans. I was really happy to see Pierce get going. But I'm really surprised, man. The Jaguars confused me. They had 447 yards of total offense and scored 6 points. That's called bad coaching. Bad loss for them. And yeah, I think the only comment I need to make about this team or about this game in general is that this division is the new NFC East. AFC South is the new NFC East. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, this game was another snooze fest. I'm not gonna lie. Apart from Dameon Pierce, nothing really excited me in this game. The Jaguars have cooled off, and then the Texans. I mean, I have to give them props. They weren't really expected to do much this season, but even though they're 1 and 3, like they fought in a lot of these games, kept it close. And, they're building a nice team over there. So I'm excited to see what they have for the future. But obviously, right now this division is absolute ass. Well, what are your predictions for the Colts Jags game? Because the Jags fucking whooped their ass the first time.
Yeah, the Jags beat the Colts 24-0 last time, which definitely opened a lot of eyes for both teams. I really don't know. Where is this game played? Is it down in
It's in
Florida?
Indianapolis.
Okay, so back up there. I'm gonna go with the Colts in this game. It's less of me trusting the Colts, but more of me thinking that the Jaguars won't be able to pull this one out. I wouldn't be surprised if this game is another just such a low-scoring game with like maybe a total of 1 or 2 touchdowns. But I think the Colts are going to pull this one out. I think that this win should be the one that gets their season back on track.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Colts as well. Jonathan Taylor should be back, and I expect them to be rumbling. Surprisingly, they're only 2-point favorites, which is kind of not shocking because the way they played against Jacksonville, but they always do that in Jacksonville. But I think the Colts will really win this game, and it will be under the legs of Jonathan Taylor. Dameon Pierce had a monster game last week. I expect Taylor to have a monster game this week and really recuperate the Colts season.
I was literally exactly going to say that. I was going to pick the Colts just because of Jonathan Taylor's return and how good Dameon Pierce looked against them. So I got the Colts in this one. We'll see. As far as the Denver Broncos, is this their bye?
No, they played the Chargers this week on Monday Night Football, bro. Another primetime game.
It is Monday Night Football. Why is Denver getting so many prime times?
Again, because they overrated them because they thought Russell Wilson was going to be such a big addition.
Apparently, the tickets are as cheap as $46.
Well, yeah, because nobody wants to see Chargers games.
Thought on Instagram, Keenan Allen might be back. I'm taking the Chargers, who we'll talk about. But yeah, I'm taking the Chargers.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers too. The Broncos have disappointed me. I didn't have them, going too far winning the division or anything like that. But I thought that they would be a playoff team, obviously known as that team that's been one quarterback away. Now they make a trade for a guy who's had a lot of successful experience. Season has just been a complete failure so far. Maybe they can get their season back on track, like the Colts, maybe with a game like this over a top team. But I think another primetime game is highly unlikely. I think the Chargers should be able to win this one.
Yeah, I agree too. I think the Chargers are going to win this one pretty convincingly. I really think that Justin Herbert and Mike Williams will have I think Mike Williams, now that Keenan Allen will be back, will have a monster game because I think Surtain will take the Keenan Allen matchup, which should alleviate Mike Williams, who's been carrying this offense in terms of receiving. I think Eckler will slow down his fantasy production because the Broncos defense really can shut down the run at times. But I think it'll be a low. It won't be a low scoring game, but it'll be like a mid game. But I think the Broncos will keep it close though. People are kind of, underrating the Broncos defense is really good. It's the offense that has been the issue. And I think it'll be a close game. But I'm still taking the Chargers.
Yeah, I got the Chargers. Like I said, let's talk about the Chargers. They beat the Browns. Again, like last season, it was a very, very good game. 30-28. Eckler had a monster game. Justin Herbert, 228 yards throwing and 1 touchdown. Brissett, 230 yards throwing, 1 touchdown and an interception. But Nick Chubb really, really came through with his 2 touchdowns and his 134 yards carrying over 17 carries. What are your thoughts on this game? Because Nick Chubb did everything he could, but the Chargers ended up winning off the back of Eckler.
Yeah, the Chargers are really, really lucky that they won this game. An awful decision, in my opinion, going for it on 4th and 2, just inside of Cleveland territory.
Keenan Allen tweeted about that, right?
Yeah, he said something like, "What are we doing?" or something, because he was out, obviously. But they're just lucky, super lucky that the Browns missed that Cade York missed that field goal. If they lose that game and the Chargers drop to what it would be 2-3 at the time is what they would be. I know Brandon Staley would get talks about being on the hot seat. But yeah, the Chargers were able to win this game. Like you said, Austin Eckler now seems to be having a rhythm, had his breakout game last week. And obviously, no matter what Nick Chubb can do, I don't think this team's going to be successful. You got to remember, this team is playing with their backup quarterback. Not saying that Deshaun Watson is super special, but he's obviously, from what we've seen in his career, we know what he can do, even with the team without many guys at all. But I think this Browns team may just have to focus on next year, maybe just get a high pick for, I guess the season is going to go to Houston. But the Chargers, the main story is that call may have lost them the game. They're lucky that he missed that field goal.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Brandon Staley should be lucky. He should be lucky. He should be very happy that they freaking won that game because they should have easily lost because of that because of the 4th down thing. But regardless, Austin Eckler had a really good game. Big win for the Chargers nonetheless. And as for the Browns, I don't know what Jacoby Brissett was doing on that goal line possession. Throwing across your body. Unacceptable. He's a veteran quarterback. He should know better. And just a bad play on his part. And a big win for the Chargers. And it'll get. I think that this win for the Chargers will get them going. I think they have a nice set of games coming up in terms of their schedule. They got to get going, and now is the time. So this win, hopefully against the Broncos, will get them going. But against the Browns will get them going. Got a good one against the Broncos next week, so we'll see how they do. But big win nonetheless.
Yep, big win for the Chargers. As for the Browns, they faced the New England Patriots, who absolutely dicked my Detroit Lions. Crazy. 29-0. Who do you guys have in that game? We'll talk about the Patriots and the Lions.
You're saying the Browns play the Patriots?
Yeah. It's in Cleveland.
Browns should be able to win this game. I think they will. I'm not sure who the quarterback for New England is going to be. It's either going to be Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones if he's going to be able to play. He was limited in practice today, so that's a step forward towards playing this week. If not this week, I'm sure he'll play next Sunday. But it's looking like he will make his return this week in Cleveland. But I think the receiving play has not been good. The O-line play has not been good. The defense has been all right. A few key players here and there, but the team has not been looking great. I think that the Browns should be able to handle business in their hometown.
Defense has been all right. They've been fucking crazy.
The Patriots defense,
Yes, dude. We had the number one scoring offense, and they shut us up. Like, bro, I've never seen anything like it before. Like,
Their defense is all right because it's inconsistent.
okay, fair.
Yeah. Big win for the Patriots against the Lions, but I'm going to be taking the Browns over the Patriots. I think Bailey Zapp is going to be starting again, if I'm not mistaken, and I think the Browns will take advantage of him. Myles Garrett should get to him, and I think the Browns will convincingly win this week.
No Damian Harris. So it's going to be Ramondre Stevenson. This is a tough pick for me. I think the Patriots actually have a shot, but I guess I will go with the Browns as well, just because it's home field advantage. And yeah, you are right, backup quarterback. Even though Bailey Zappi has not looked terrible, I still think that the O line is a little bit questionable. You're right. As far as the Lions Patriots game, I'll go last because I want to rant, so you guys can just give your thoughts quickly. But I don't even know if you guys watched this game. It was a blowout from the start.
I think I want to say I picked the Patriots to win this game. I
No,
feel like
we all picked the
all
Lions.
of us picked the Lions.
Really?
We all picked Detroit. Yeah.
damn, bro.
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to figure out why I would pick Detroit. I think I'd probably just pick the Lions because their offense has been really nice this season. And Bailey Zappi wouldn't be able to get the job done, but obviously it is. But yeah, I really didn't watch this game. I had Red Zone on, sure, so I just kept getting some highlights of the Patriots scoring, but obviously not one possession that I saw of the Lions offense all day. I want to say Amon St. Brown did play, right?
He had a very bad game. Very bad game.
Wasn't like
4 catches for 17 yards. I was so pissed as a fantasy owner.
That's what I remember.
He was like 40%, bro. Like he was like nowhere. He shouldn't have been on the. He was nowhere close to him.
Yeah. So the Patriots obviously knew what was coming. They were able to get things done. I didn't think even if the Patriots were to win, I would not have thought that it would be a basically 30-0 blowout. But yeah, I guess the Patriots can. I guess this proves to me that Bailey Zappi is probably the best quarterback in New England.
Funny, Hudson.
What the fuck?
Anyways, I want to get to. I'll say a little bit about the Patriots, and I want to get to the Lions. The Patriots played a solid game. Ramondre Stevenson got going, but this win is meaningless for them. They're still going to be very bad, and I still don't think they're making the playoffs at all. As for the Lions, just a confusing team, man. Like the defense is not there anyways. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass, and this week the offense just struggled, man. Like it's very annoying because I know Suha says Lions, but you want to see progress. But Dan Campbell, he might be the leader. Like he can motivate you, but he does not know how to call a football game. He does not know analytics. He does not know how to manage a game. That's something he's got to work on, obviously. But that takes time. So we'll see if he can figure it out over the bye week, give some time, prepare for the next game. But he's really got to figure some stuff out in terms of analytics and managing the game. Maybe he's got to let his coordinators figure it out, not him, and make the big time decisions. But other than that, I think the Lions will bounce back eventually. They don't have a game this week. They have a bye. But big win nonetheless for the Patriots.
Yeah, you're right. Dan Campbell, he's a very good leader, but he's very inexperienced in play calling. I think sometimes he just thinks that he should go for it on every single 4th down possible, and that's not how it works, bro. You're not supposed to go for it on
0 for 6.
4th and 9 is ridiculous, bro. I don't care what team. I don't care if you're fucking the prime fucking Patriots with Tom Brady. Like 4th and 9 is an absolute no.
4th and 9.
4th and 9, yeah.
He's a madman. I don't know what he's thinking. Like
he's trying to motivate his team, man. That's all he's trying to do.
Any team that would do that is the Dolphins. 4th and 7, week 1, 60-yard touchdown.
I don't give a fuck. You do not go for it on 4th and 9. I do agree he needs some time. I don't agree with people saying fire him either. Why are we firing him? We just hired him last year. This is the problem with Lions fans. Every time we see someone losing a game, it's always fire the coach. That's why we haven't made any fucking progress. And it's the same shit every year. Every time I see some hope, it's always something that goes backwards. I need Swift to come back. We have a fucking backup running back who can't catch for shit. I love Jamal Williams, but every pass that Jared Goff throws to him, he fucking drops. I need DeAndre Swift back. St. Brown should have never played. He was never healthy. TJ Hawkinson didn't play. Basically, he played like one snap. He was injured. The defense is ass. Aiden Hutchinson's getting so many pressures, but he's getting doubled and triple teamed every time. And we have no help from the outside. Okuda is the only bright spot. The bye week could not have come at a better time. And the only bright spot right now is the fact that the Rams are losing. We have their pick, so as long as the Rams keep continuing to lose, sure, we'll take a high pick this year. And Jared Goff, he didn't look good, but fuck, I didn't even expect him to because he literally had zero weapons out there apart from an injured St. Brown and no TJ Hawkins or anything. So the offensive line has been the only bright spot of the season so far. And we should be like 3-2 right now, but I'll take a high pick from the Rams and from ourselves. So the bye week should be a good time for all guys to come back. Jameson Williams should come back soon as well. That's going to be electric. But yeah, very disappointed. Yeah, we don't play anyone, so let's move on.
Thursday night game this week.
Yeah, fuck this game, bro. Commanders.
Okay, let's just all make our picks and then say one thing and move on because we all agree that this game is going to be literally trash.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about this game.
Yeah.
Commanders,
Hudson, go
Bears.
ahead.
I think the Commanders should win this game with really no problems. They haven't been great this year at all. They're 1-4, I want to say, going into week 6. But the Bears have just been even worse. I'm sure they may have a better record, but still, Commanders are obviously the better team. I think on primetime, they have the experience as well. They should be able to win this game. And if they don't, Jesus, Ron Rivera may be the next head coach fired.
Did you see what he said? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what he said. I don't know if you guys saw that because
I did. I saw it.
He was like, "What's the difference between your team and the other teams in the
Our
division?"
QB.
And he said, "Quarterback."
I saw that. What? So that was taking a shot at Carson Wentz, wasn't it?
No, he apologized later to him, but Ron's
I don't
not
know
afraid.
if you don't say
don't
that
say
about
that.
your QBs. Yeah,
Ron's not afraid to speak truth. He's
I
done
hate
it multiple times against Cam.
That's why he got fired. But I hate.
He
Carson.
got fired in his last year in 2019. But Ron Rivera is a proven winner. Okay, so I don't have a problem with them saying this at all to motivate his quarterback. I don't have a problem. But regardless, I'm going to take the Commanders over the Bears because I think Carson Wentz is better than Justin Fields. Period. And that's the end. That's it. I think this is going to be a snooze fest of a game. I might not even watch it.
Yeah, Carson Wentz may be better, but it's like trying to pick between two trash cans right now. So I'm picking the Commanders just because I think the Bears are the worst team in the NFL. So and what they did when they fucking blew that game, or I don't even know what the name of the receiver is. I think his name was like Smith Marset or Smith Marquette or some shit. What he didn't go out of bounds and he lost the ball.
Oh,
they should have won that game against the Vikings because that's who they just played. And the Bears should have won that game. The Bears should have won that game. The Vikings are somehow 4-1 or 3-2. They're 4-1. God damn.
They'll lose next week. That's fine.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But what do you think about the Bears Vikings game?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this game was all Vikings in the first half. I want to say 24-3 or something, 24-7.
21-3.
21-3 was the score, yeah. The Vikings obviously seemed like they were connecting on all cylinders. Dalvin Cook had a great game. Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson were connecting. They were throwing dots. The Vikings were up big, and then the Bears ended up coming back, and they made it a very close game. The Bears had a game-winning drive coming together before that fumble. I'm not really mad at the decision to not go out of bounds, but it was more just the bad play by the receiver for letting the ball go loose. But obviously Bears didn't have anything really to lose, so there's nothing really on them. But The Vikings, though, obviously have had a bit of concerns. Obviously, this game now nearly blowing the game to the Bears, and then the week before, barely beating the Saints by a game of inches without their top quarterback, wide receiver, or running back.
Yeah, big win for the Vikings. I just don't know how they blew this game. But like I do want to make the quick point. Justin Jefferson is him. Just torching everyone on the Bears. Reason why I have him as the second best receiver in the league. But good win for the Vikings, but they should have lost this game, man. Like, you can't be blowing leads to the Bears of all teams. That's unacceptable. But they'll fix it. But they're somehow 4-1. And somehow, some way, the Vikings are first in the NFC North. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know.
Say they would win the division.
I don't think they will. I still think the Packers will win the division. But it's kind of crazy to me. And the Vikings have an easy game this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Whoa.
Against they have an easy game this week because they're playing against a third-string QB. So looking forward to
worst QB in the NFL. Must I add?
Hell no. I would take him over some other quarterbacks for sure.
All right, go ahead.
Keep telling yourself that. The Vikings. I still don't think the Vikings are all that, but I did predict them to win the division. They're 4-1, I guess. Justin Jefferson is crazy. He's not gonna stop. I mean, wait till he sees that weak ass secondary he's going against this week.
Whoa, what?
He's gonna torch them. But let's talk about that team. Let's talk about the team that they're going against because they took a beating, not just an L. They took a beating, 40-17. I mean, Breece Hall, man. Breece Hall went crazy.
Breece Hall and Michael Carter just bent over. They just bent over the Dolphins.
Breece Hall had 100 yards receiving and rushing.
Yeah. He had a Christian McCaffrey type game.
He had a fucking crazy game, man. A touchdown, like he went crazy. The Dolphins, apart from Raheem Mostert, no one else did anything. The secondary got burned. The pass rush is ass, bro. Like I'm watching Dolphins fans panic on Twitter because of the pass rush. That's how bad it's been. But yeah, any thoughts on the game, Hudson? Because you were the only one who picked the Dolphins.
Was I the only one? Yeah, I know I was the only one who picked the Dolphins. I'm not gonna lie. Any divisional game gets me nervous. But the Jets are the one team in the division I wasn't that worried about. Trust me. When we come back down to Hard Rock Stadium for Week 18, this game's going to be so much different. But bro, what do you mean? I promise you right now, you can clip this. The Dolphins will destroy the Jets in Week 18. But no, this game was just bad. Obviously, first play of the game was a safety, which was an awful call, by the way. The next awful call was the spotter saying that Teddy Bridgewater stumbled and that he had to be ruled out for the rest of the game. I don't know what that was all about. I'm glad Skyler got his opportunity. I'm glad that he had the experience at least to play in this game for the Vikings on Sunday. We know Tua is going to be back for the Steelers game, so that's just good to know. And this game was just really bad. It was basically one possession game. Then Skylar Thompson made a bad decision, fumbled the ball. The Jets scored another touchdown, then forced down on downs. But yeah, there was a lot of mistakes, a lot of bright moments, a lot of everything from Skylar Thompson. He played all right. A lot of people saying he was awful, but he wasn't that bad. But I do think that Josh Boyer, the defensive coordinator, is going to be on the hot seat come the season. Mike McDaniel brought in all of his staff, but kept Josh Boyer on the staff. So I'm sure that was a sigh of relief, but after the season, I'm not too sure what the plan with him is going to be.
You literally posted saying that Skylar Thompson is not it.
Anyways.
Yeah, I know because of his performance, but obviously with starter reps for the whole entire week, I think that if you introduce him to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and let him know that that those two guys are on the team, I think that he can have a big week. This
is an All-American, bro. This is not how it works.
Trust me. Just watch. Skylar Thompson's going to win us this game.
Anyways, so Dolphins take. I'm sorry, Hudson's taking the Dolphins to beat the Vikings. Okay. I'm taking the Vikings. But the Jets just bent over the Dolphins, like quite periodly. My boy, Zach Milf Wilson, didn't need to do too much. Just let Brees Hall and Michael Carter do the work. Won the game. Big win for the Jets. So who are on a trajectory to, in fact, possibly push themselves towards playoff berth. It's going to take a lot more than that, though.
The Jets and the Dolphins literally have the same record.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot more, though, for them to make the playoffs. They got a tough road ahead. But big win for them nonetheless. But I'm taking the Vikings over the Dolphins. I think Justin Jefferson is just going to feast. I think Dalvin Cook, who was not talked about too much over the past few weeks, last week he got going. He's going to have a monster game because Miami cannot stop the run. And I expect Dalvin Cook to go crazy and the Vikings to obliterate the Dolphins this weekend.
Comedy.
I got the Vikings, and like I don't even think I have to explain anything. Like they're 4-1, the Dolphins are 3-2. They look like the better team.
You literally just said that the Vikings, that you don't know how the Vikings are 4-1.
I said I don't think the Vikings are as good as their record indicates, but they're playing a fucking ass team right now. So I'll pick them because I trust them more than the Dolphins B team. But their B second. Who is your secondary gonna stop, bro? Please tell me what your game plan is against Justin Jefferson. Like I'm very curious.
I have to look more into insight on what he's capable. Like obviously, we know Justin Jefferson is able to do. Okay, never mind. But I really don't know what the plan is going to be for Sunday because I want to say Xavier Howard will be on him, but I'm also not too confident that he will be because we saw Xavier Howard start on T. Higgins in the Bengals game and that didn't even go well. He got the week off against the Jets. So I think that he will be set for this game against the Vikings. I think he sat out on purpose, knowing what his matchup is going to be this Sunday. I want to say Xavier will start. I think we'll see a lot of Kader Kohu on Justin Jefferson, but I really don't know. I think you got to have the safety help, obviously, in there, whether it's Holland or Rowe or whoever it is. Obviously, you need to make sure you have 2 or 3 guys on him and make sure he doesn't find his way of getting the separation that makes him one of the best receivers in the game.
The only thing you can do to stop Justin Jefferson is call up 2 Detroit Lions corners, Darius Slay and Jeff Okudah. Those are the only 2 who have stopped Justin Jefferson.
I think that Kirk Cousins will have an awful game in the Miami weather. Awful. I think Kirk Cousins will throw for 2 or 3 interceptions this game.
That's interesting. I think Dalvin Cook is going to have a great game in the Miami weather because he's from Miami. So he's used to that weather. And y'all made Brees Hall look like fucking prime CMC.
No, Brees Hall, I will say Brees Hall looks like prime Le'Veon. The way he plays, every single run that Brees Hall gets, he does that little hop step that Le'Veon used to do in Pittsburgh.
I mean, that was my offensive rookie of the year. But yeah, I think the Vikings will win. And then because they played the Bears. We talked about that game. We also talked about the Jets. We did not talk about the Titans and the Commanders because we talked about the Thursday night game. The Titans beat the Commanders off of 2 touchdowns from Derrick Henry, 102 yards rushing, the 8th best running back in the NFL.
Figure out. Hold on. 102 yards rushing. How many carries?
28.
Okay, do the math on that.
He scored 2 touchdowns, bro.
Do the math on 102 divided by 28.
It's 3.65.
Oh,
that's all I need to say.
That's not.
The 2 rushing touchdowns were on the goal line.
He can't be stopped on the goal line.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably run in from the goal line and score, okay, against that Washington team.
regardless, Derrick Henry was the best player on the field. Um, and I don't think like there's any other argument. Uh, Shout out to Brian Robinson, who came back from his injury. But apart from that, like the Commanders are ass. We already talked about the Commanders. Let's talk about the Titans because they go up against who the fuck do they go up against? Is it a bye?
Bye.
It is a bye. So I mean we can like briefly talk about them and then move on to the next. What do you guys think about the Titans?
It was a good win for them, but I still think they're the one of the bigger fraudulent teams in the league. A lucky win against Washington isn't going to change anything, to be honest, for me. So yeah,
I don't think the Titans are a project team because I don't see if the Vikings don't go anywhere this season, which
You said fraudulent, not project.
Oh, okay. Then that makes far more sense. Yeah, because the Titans obviously they don't have a win now team, but the team that they have now is what they look to consider a win now team. Because obviously Ryan Tannehill isn't a quarterback you're going to win later with. I think sooner or later it's going to be Malik time. But Ryan Tannehill hasn't been playing awful this season, but
time. Yes,
it will be Malik Willis time. I'm not saying he's going to be very successful. Not saying he's not going to be, but Brian Tannehill has been playing pretty well this season, but just by age, I think you want to say he's 36 or 37 soon. So the Titans obviously have some pieces. Treylon Burks, who's out for the next couple of weeks. Derrick Henry is obviously going to be that running back for them for the next couple of years and has proved that he is a top 7 running back in the NFL. But yeah, I think the Titans will end up missing the playoffs just because of how tough the AFC is. But I think it's time to get their young guys to work.
Who's gonna win that division?
I think
it's going to be the Colts.
I agree. I think it's going to be the Colts.
Yeah, because right now if I'm not mistaken, the Titans do have a better record, but we'll see. Yeah, they're 3-2. The Colts are 2-2-1. Because they tied week 1. So, yeah, we can move on to the next game, which was the Steelers and the Bills, which was a fucking blowout. The Bills were clearly mad after they lost against the Dolphins and they almost lost against the Ravens. They came out and literally put it on the Steelers from the start. Josh Allen, 424 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, this man was everywhere. And who had him as a top 2 QB and who didn't? Because I'm pretty sure you guys had Aaron Rodgers over him.
Who are the Bills beating the Dolphins?
Well, y'all won because of injuries, but
all right, but you can say the same thing about the Jets game.
Yeah, you're right. But the Jets, but you still picked the Dolphins. I have, like I said, Josh Allen is top 2. He's crazy. Gabe Davis, monster game. Shout out to Gabe, my boy. Stephon Diggs, another monster game. And then yeah, I mean nothing much more to say. The Steelers didn't do shit. Kenny Pickett had 327 yards, but he had a pick. And George Pickens was the best receiver with his 83 yards receiving.
Yeah, and I think from this game we kind of know in the past that Josh Allen, he's a really good memory. Josh Allen is a really, really good memory. He's been pissed off. He's had the state circled ever since the schedule came out. Thinking about last year's game against the Steelers, week 1 they lose. Week 2 they come down to Miami and win 35-0. But that's not the point. Obviously, Josh Allen wanted revenge. He had a stellar week, 4 touchdowns, 200-something yards. That was just at halftime, I believe. Obviously started that game off with a 98-yard touchdown to Gabe Davis, who also had a phenomenal game. But yeah, the Steelers, on the other hand, Kenny Pickett had a pretty bad game. But it's against the Bills. There's not much else you can do against that good of a team, especially in your first NFL start. But yeah, obviously we know the Steelers are moving on to their next era in Kenny Pickett. But yeah, I honestly, I know Mike Tomlin has been the guy there for multiple years, but I think it may be time that you move on to a guy who fits the timeline better. May not have to be this season, potentially next season, but I think it may happen sooner or later.
We're talking about
Yeah.
firing Mike Tomlin.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not, Hudson. That's blasphemy.
But no. It's not because he's a bad coach. But I think if it's not, I'm not saying it's going to happen or that I think it will or that I want it. But if they want someone to fit their timeline better, that could just be one of the options that they go through.
That is one of the dumbest statements that's ever come out of somebody's mouth. That is one of the
Bro,
dumbest statements.
Mike Tomlin's
You
a top
don't
five
know.
coach.
Mike Tomlin is a generational type of head coach. You don't say that stuff. Okay.
And they do have a good team when they're fully healthy.
Yeah, no.
Do they,
I
though?
want to say this. I want to say
they
this.
do.
Okay.
They're missing their best player
Steelers-
on the
The Steelers don't fire head coaches. The coaches either resign or their contract ends. Period. The Steelers have only had 3 head coaches in all their Bill Cowher, it's somebody I forgot who the other dude was, and Mike Tomlin. That's it. Okay. The Steelers are known to keep their head coaches for they don't fire. They don't do that.
and
Mike
they
Tomlin is not going to be the first.
made the playoffs with the same team last year.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't
Last
have
season they made the playoffs.
Yes.
yeah.
Wait, what? Oh yeah, true. They did. Yeah, that was.
And
with
guess who
Ben
called that
Roethlisberger.
shit? Guess who called it?
Yeah, I know that was pretty phenomenal. Only
Yeah,
to
so
get blown out.
their team
in the wild card.
team when fully healthy is not they're missing their best player right now.
Yeah, they also lost a couple of players from last year's team.
I don't know, but firing Mike Tomlin is fucking ridiculous.
I'm saying it's one of the options that if they want to go through, they can. But obviously, we know that
Who
won't
are you
happen.
going to go with then?
Who are you
Bro,
replacing? him with?
Mike Tomlin. I'll tell you what. If the Steelers fire Mike Tomlin, I will gladly take him in Carolina without hesitance. Okay.
I don't even know if he's
Steelers
I
are
don't
going to
even know.
sign Matt Rule.
I don't know if he wants to go to Carolina, but
No, I don't know.
firing. But I don't even know who you're fucking replacing him with. If he gets fired,
I will say the offensive coordinator, Matt Canada, will be fired soon, though.
Yes, I agree with that statement.
that is true. That is true. Yeah, they've just been throwing Kenny Pickett into the fire. Like, I don't even think it's his fault, bro. I don't think. He hasn't been great, but I don't think it's Kenny Pickett's fault.
No, it's not necessarily his fault. The offensive coordinator, like we said, most likely going to get fired soon. He doesn't trust his quarterback. Mitch Trubisky apparently wasn't even allowed to audible plays at the line. So that's something. And obviously the receivers, most of the playbook was just out routes. Like you would never see a ball coming inside the middle of the field. So Steelers are going to have to make a change on the coaching staff. And obviously they already have on the field with now Kenny Pickett being the guy for them.
I want you to go take this because I want to address one person after you talk.
Okay. Big win for the Bills. But we knew this was going to happen. So there's not really much else to say. Big win. And Steelers, we kind of figured, I want to say this. The Steelers defense without TJ Watt is not the same unit with TJ Watt. That's pretty much it. Okay. So, big win for the Bills. But other than that, nothing much else from this game.
Okay, so I have to address one person. He's not in this call, but obviously probably won't even listen to this. But this guy has been disappointing me for a couple of years now. And for the amount of talent this guy has, it's ridiculous how disappointing he's been. Chase Claypool, you fucking suck. For you to be 6'4", so they said that on the broadcast. I couldn't believe it. He plays like he's 5'11". He is immature. He sucks. And I hope they trade him because he does not deserve to be there. He's the most disappointing player on that team. And you would expect him to step up, but he hasn't done that. And yeah, George Pickens already taking your spot. So bye-bye, Chase Claypool. I expect you to be traded soon because you suck. Moving on. Who are the Bills? The Bills play the Chiefs. That's going to be the game of the week.
Game of the week. I'm interested to see who y'all pick.
Yeah, Mahomes opening as an underdog at home for the first time in his career. That's pretty crazy. I think Bills are 2.5-point favorites. Crazy that this game that they are 3.
3-point favorites.
Then it must have moved. I checked this morning; it was 2.5. So, yeah, I don't
think
know
it's
why
because
the
they're
Bills are
getting one of their corners or safeties back.
I think Trey White's out this week.
I
Yeah,
don't know
no,
who-
Trey White's going to be out for a minute.
Maybe Poyer is back. I think he
Poyer
played
played-
last week though.
Player played last week. I think it was someone else. I don't know. Keep going.
Yeah, this game's obviously a rematch that divisional game last season. Bro, I don't know who I'm gonna take. I think I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. It's just a gut feeling I have. I think this game is going to be an absolutely insane one. I don't know why this game's a Sunday night football game. I think two all right teams play Sunday night football, but I think that this team game should be the one on that schedule. But I just have one of those gut feelings. I think the Chiefs should be able to pull this one out. It's at home. We know Arrowhead is probably the worst stadium to try and play in against as an away team. So I think Kansas City wins this one.
This is a tough one, but it's gonna be a repeat of last year. I'm taking the Bills to beat the Chiefs. Last year in the regular season, the Bills beat the Chiefs after their disappointing loss in the playoffs to the Chiefs. It's gonna be the same repeat. I think the Bills are gonna come this year. They're gonna win this game. I think Mahomes is gonna struggle. The Bills are gonna take away Travis Kelce. He's just going to be stuck trying to find guys. I think the Bills absolutely bullied the Kansas City defense, who got torched this weekend. Josh Jacobs ran wild. I expect Josh Allen and Devin Singletary to just go crazy. They should have a field day, and I expect the Bills to beat the Chiefs on the road.
Who do you take, Hudson? Do you take the Chiefs?
Pick the
He's
Chiefs.
taking the Chiefs.
I'm taking the Bills, and the only reason I'm taking the Bills is because of their revenge factor. I think losing last year to this team is going to motivate them, and they're going to come out with a chip on their shoulder. I don't know about the whole stopping Travis Kelce. This guy looks like he's on a mission this year. Like Travis Kelce looks on a different planet. I don't know anyone that can stop him, but I think it's going to be an extremely close game. But I think the Bills will just have more firepower to win this game in the end. I don't really know who's covering Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis. Like Devontae Adams had a really good game. Even Renfro, Renfro had a solid game. It wasn't like anything special, but Josh Jacobs, even on the ground, had a really good game. Yeah, I think the Chiefs defense will be heavily hit by the Bills. I'm taking the Bills in this one. And then because we have to talk about who the Steelers play.
They play the Bucks.
Oh shit! Yeah, they do play the. Oh, they do. Yeah, they play the Bucks because I have Chris Godwin in fantasy. Yeah, Steelers play the Bucks, who controversially won their game against the Falcons. If it wasn't for a bullshit roughing the passer call on Brady, I don't know if they would have won this game. But yeah, the Bucks play the Steelers. Any predictions on that game?
Yeah, I wanted to take the Falcons to beat the Bucks just because we always see Atlanta take Tampa to a really close game or beat them at least once a year. And I thought this could have been it, but I decided to go with the Bucks.
Tom Brady is 12-0 against the Falcons.
I think he was out one game. I'm confident, or no, I'm actually switching.
You're
up
probably
with
thinking of the Saints.
The Saints. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the Saints beating the Bucks. No, I wanted to take the Falcons in this game, ended up taking the Bucks, and what I saw was that the Falcons were nearly able to win this game. But we saw what at the time was the worst roughing the passer call in NFL history until that Monday Night Football game. We'll get to that, but yeah, this game was probably ruined. I don't understand how you call roughing the passer on that, but you don't call the sack on Tua on Thursday Night Football for roughing the passer. I don't think that the Tua sack against the Bengals was roughing the passer at all. It wasn't dirty at all. But if you're going to call that roughing the passer, I don't know what isn't. So that game was kind of ruined. I hope the NFL fixes that, especially after what we saw on Monday night. But I guess the Bucs season just stays alive.
Yeah, the Bucs got a measly win. They should have lost, but I think they'll beat the Steelers this weekend pretty convincingly. So I'm taking the Bucs. Hudson, you're probably taking the Bucs too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Bucks too. I think the Bucks will win this game. I don't even know if because I'm paying attention to this game because I don't even know if I should start fucking Chris Godwin or not.
I would. He's Brady's go-to guy.
But like last game, he wasn't the best.
He's still his go-to guy. Fournette was, but
Oh my god, bro! Fournette last week, bro. Chris Godwin he got stopped at the 1 and fucking Fournette rushed it in for the touchdown. I was so mad because I could have had the touchdown bonus, and that happened to me so many times. Brees did it with it happened to me with Brees. With Michael Carter did it twice. I hate when people do that, fucking vulturing touchdowns, especially in fantasy. But I'm taking the Bucks. Yeah, we can talk about this Monday night game, which was extremely close. And frankly, like the first thing that I do want to say is that the Raiders are too fucking talented to be 1-4 right now. This is an absolute disappointment. Someone should be fired. And
it's going to be Josh McDaniels.
It's going to be Josh McDaniels.
You're not 1-4 with this talent unless your head coach is this bad. And the head
there
coach
is no way this team is 1-4, bro. This team should be 3-2 right now. They should have won against the Cardinals. They should have won against the Chiefs, and they already got their 1 win. They should be 3-2 right now.
They should have beaten the Titans, man. Like they should be 4-1.
They should be a lot better than what they are right now. And yes, Josh McDaniels is gonna get fired. I will say the play calling was very suspect. How you don't run the ball. At least one of the 2 plays when they could have gone into field goal range. Josh Jacobs didn't get the ball once, bro. Like he's been dominant. The Chiefs have had no answer for the run. Didn't make any sense to me. I mean, Derek Carr and Devontae tried to do everything that they could. The fucking play call in the end where Hunter Renfrow ran into Devontae, I don't know what that was about. That was a completely miscommunication. But yeah, it was sad because I picked the Chiefs, but like I was low-key rooting for the Raiders because I want to see them win games because they shouldn't be 1-4. But yes, do you think he's getting fired this week? Like if they like
not this week, but it'll happen eventually.
Because they play
they're on a bye. Vegas is on a bye.
Oh right, because I have Devontae Adams in my fantasy. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, they are on a bye. Yeah, I mean, I guess the bye would be good for them, but they better figure their shit out.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are probably the one team in the league that do need this bye. The Chiefs, obviously, we know what they're capable of. I thought they were going to win this game. It was closer than I thought, but if anybody in Las Vegas needs to go, it's Josh McDaniels. High hopes entering the season after being the OC for New England last year, but this offense hasn't looked like what we thought it would. It's looked good, but Derek Carr has not been looking like the QB we thought that he would improve to be with the best wide receiver in the NFL on his team. But obviously not. They've had a tough schedule, but they've lost to some bad teams that they should have. Definitely the best 1-4 team in the league, but I think we know who the odd team out is in the AFC West. It's between them and the Broncos, but just because of their record right now, it's looking like it's going to be the Raiders finishing last.
Yeah, like the Raiders, they should have won this game, man. Like, if you have a 17-0 lead at Arrowhead, like there's no excuse to lose this game. And the call to go for 2, I don't have a problem with it because like you're playing the Chiefs, you play to win the game. I get it if you like, if
they acted like their defense was. They acted like their defense was getting a stop, bro.
Josh, think of it. You got to think of it from both sides. if he goes for 2 and they get it, he's crowned a hero because they win that game.
Right.
They win that game. But if he doesn't get it, he's blamed for it. So
No,
you
I
got to
don't
think of
think
both
I don't
sides.
think
But
they
if he kicks the extra,
I don't think they win the
hear me
game.
out. If he kicks the extra point, if he kicks the extra point and they tie, there's no way you're gonna win. There's no chance you're gonna win. Okay. But you go for 2, you got a chance to win, and they stopped them. Okay. That's what he was banking on. That's all you got to think of it from that point of view. I don't have a problem with it, but other than that, like, like Vegas is just inexcusable, man. But good win for the Chiefs, and Kelsey really carried him. Did y'all see the final score of my fantasy game in our league? I have been so bad in our league this year. I don't even know why. I have Saquon on my team. It's because Dak has been hurt, and I've been playing measly quarterbacks. But anyways, like Kelsey won me my fantasy game this week by 0.02. Absolutely pandemonium. A big win for the Chiefs nonetheless.
Yeah, big win for the Chiefs. I don't even know. I think I'm 3-2 in our league. And that's because fucking it's because Derrick Henry it's because Darren Waller was like, what's going on with Darren Waller, bro? He hasn't played like any games, and like he's played like one game. Like last week, he didn't play. Like he was out after like the first snap. Like what the fuck is going on? Like Darren Waller, like you just got your bag, and like I need you out there.
He got hurt this game.
But even before that, he wasn't doing anything. So it's frustrating. But yeah. Raiders are on a bye. Chiefs, we already talked about, so we'll move on to the let's talk about this London game. Giants Packers. I think we all picked the Packers, but the Giants are 4-1. Who was high on the Giants before the season started? Yours truly, Saquon Barkley with the touchdown. Daniel Jones looked pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it was a close game towards the end, but the 2 batted passes from Aaron Rodgers sold the game, as he always does, and the Giants came out with the dub.
Yeah, it was honestly just the Saquon Barkley show, making me think that Brian Dable may be the guy that the Giants needed to finally get their franchise going again. We'll see what Daniel Jones can provide for this team for the rest of the season. They haven't faced a good team until the Packers. But to me, what I'm looking at as is that the Giants have still yet to beat a good team in the NFL on U.S. grounds. So maybe they are for real, but I don't know. I obviously, for some people, you've seen enough and you think that the Giants can be good, but I want to see one more week. This week upcoming, I think we'll get to this game in a second. This game this week will determine to me whether the Giants are for real, even if they don't win, just depending on how they play.
Yeah, big win for the Giants. I'm really disappointed in the Packers. I don't know what their offensive game plan the second half was. Clearly it didn't work. Matt LaFleur looked like Mike McCarthy on the sidelines. I'm like not even kidding. Like I'm just very pissed off. Aaron Rodgers should be heated. The game plan in the second half should have been feed AJ Dillon, feed Aaron Jones, and instead they decided to keep passing, and the play calling wasn't good. And obviously they let the Giants back in the game. And the Giants, credit to them, they won this game. But if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm pissed off. And, the game did fall on Aaron Rodgers' shoulders, as it should have. He had 2 batted passes, but the game plan in the second half was bad. However, I expect them to bounce back really well this week in a big game. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But credit to the Giants, man. Big win for them this week. Big win for them. And an even bigger game this weekend.
Yeah, the Giants, I mean, all I did was pick them to win 7 games. So they're not too far off from that mark. But I think they've just really impressed me. I was just a big believer in Brian Daboll, but I don't think they're going to be like – they're not obviously not – I don't think they're going to – like they might make the playoffs if they win 7 games, but like because I don't no, they won't make the playoffs. I'm tripping, but they're still gonna be a competitive team, and I like what they have in the future. They played the Ravens, who beat
Ravens
the Bengals on Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Yeah, I think Hudson and I picked Baltimore. Uh, Tay just picked Cincinnati, and I have the Ravens against the Giants. I got the Ravens in this one. Is Rashad Bateman playing?
I think so. He should be.
Well, okay, because I have Duvernay in fantasy as well. So, um, yeah, but I still think the Ravens will win this.
Go ahead, Hudson.
Did I pick the Ravens or the Bengals last week?
You picked the Ravens.
Okay. Yeah, no, for this game though, I think the Ravens should be able to win. Like I said, whether the Giants win or lose, I just want to see how they play, and this game will probably be the one that determines what my actual thoughts will be on them this season, whether they are actually, them probably would be the most improved team in the NFL, or if they're just the same old Giants. But yeah, Ravens are coming off that big win on Monday night or Sunday Night Football. But I do think that they will still be able to pull it out against the Giants.
Yeah. You guys are both taking the Ravens. I'm going with an upset this week. I got the Giants beating the Ravens at home. I think Saquon Barkley gets it going, and I think the Giants sneak out another win against a gritty opponent. I don't think the Ravens are that good, to be honest. They get away with fluky stuff. So I have the Giants winning, and it's honestly an upset I'm willing to take this week.
I would love to take the Giants, but I have to go with the Ravens. I was impressed by their defense, especially more than anything. I thought their defense was really good. And can we just give a shout out to Justin Tucker, bro? This guy has ice in his veins. Like, I don't care what the situation is. Like I would trust this guy from 70 yards. Like that's how confident I am with this guy as my kicker. Makes me think that fucking Harbaugh should trust him more. They go for a lot of fourth downs when they have the best kicker in NFL history on their team. Yeah, and then on to the Bengals. I think they played the Saints, who had a nice win against the Seahawks. Taysom Hill with 3 touchdowns. I think I don't know what's going on back there, but I think the Bengals will. Yeah, we might have to cut this part out.
You're good. Go ahead.
Okay, just cut this out, Hudson. I think the Bengals will win this game and bounce back after last week.
Wait, my bad. Who did the Bengals play?
They played
Saints.
the Saints.
Yeah, I know. I think the Bengals should be able to play this game. From what I've been hearing, I think Jameis Winston will play. But in the end, the Bengals
Is he playing?
I think so.
I'm gonna have to switch my pick. No. I'm sticking with the Bengals.
I might be wrong, but I think from what
Michael, I know Michael Thomas is playing too.
Yeah, I think he may have said Jameis Winston is practicing this week, but I think it's something like progressing towards being able to play this weekend. But even if Jameis Winston plays or not, I'm going to take the Bengals. All I know is that he won't be 100%, and they're going to be pissed after that primetime loss last week. I think the Bengals are going to come out angry, and they should win this game. I
agree. I think the Bengals are going to come out and win this game. I think they'll get going. They need this win badly. I think they'll get it at home. Oh, no, actually, they're on the road. My bad. In the Superdome. I think Burrow and Chase, they're going to have a nice return back to Louisiana. They're going to have a big game. And they should win this one against the Saints. I was kind of disappointed in their game against the Ravens. I thought the play calling was bad from Zach Taylor. But I think they'll get it going this week against the Saints, who got absolutely torched by Geno Smith last week.
So honestly, he just signed Drew Smith.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, to a 2-way.
Oh, that's their second 2-way. What the fuck? Okay, I did not expect that. But okay, so I'm actually gonna switch my pick because this is gonna be my upset. I'm taking the Saints.
Saints, go ahead. Go ahead. I was waiting for you to do that.
I'm taking the Saints. I did not. Okay. Well, if Jameis Winston plays, because I know Michael Thomas is playing, because I think he's playing. I know Kamara is healthy, and then yeah, those are the only two that I was like worried about. If Jameis Winston plays, I'm taking the Saints. And it's at home. Yeah, this is my upset of the week. But yeah, we can move on to the Packers and the Jets because we talked about the Packers.
We already talked about the Jets. I'm taking the Packers. I think they win outright pretty easily.
Yeah, I agree. The Packers are going to win this game. Jets aren't good. I think Aaron Rodgers should be able to light up their secondary.
I'm taking the Packers. I'm pretty sure it's in Lambeau.
It is.
So yeah, I think that the Packers will be pissed off. They'll win this game. Moving on, we got the 49ers and the Falcons. I'm taking the 49ers pretty convincingly. We'll talk about Carolina, but I'm taking the 49ers against the Falcons.
Go ahead, Hudson.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the 49ers in this game. I think that they proved that they were able to win some games in the past 2 weeks. And although either team is probably not going to be successful this season, I think that the Niners should be able to win this one, even no matter where it is. Falcons are obviously aiming for a high draft pick. I think the Niners should not have much trouble.
I agree too. I'm taking the Niners to beat the Falcons this week. Pretty convincing.
Yeah, so we all took the Niners. Let's get to this game against Carolina. We'll get to Matt Rule being fired. A bunch of shit going on. Apparently, they're like looking to move on from their players, from some of their players, and get.
You know what? Let me go first on this. All those reports are false. Let me tell you why. The only player that would possibly, of those three big players, the three big ones that I'm talking about are Brian Burns, DJ Moore, and CMC. The only one that would possibly be traded is McCaffrey. They're not going to trade DJ Moore. And let me tell you why. If the Panthers trade away DJ Moore, you know how much money they would incur in dead cap? $50 million. $50 million in dead cap. And they're already in bad dead cap because of the Matt Rule situation. They're not going to do that. DJ Moore's only 24. And Brian Burns is literally 23 years old, a premier defensive rusher. Why would you trade one of your franchise cornerstones? Like, it doesn't make sense. They're not going to do that. If there's players that are going to be traded, it's going to be Robbie Anderson, 100%, who's going to get shipped off. It's going to be a guy like on the secondary, like Shaq Thompson, who might get shipped off. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those two got shipped off. But I don't think this team – okay, let me tell you something about the Panthers, okay? This team, other than quarterback, is not a bad team at all, okay? Other than quarterback and head coach and offensive coordinator, this team is not a bad team at all. This team is elite on the defensive side of the ball. They just get put in bad positions by their offense. Simple. That's plain and simple. Okay. So, I mean, I'm so happy we fired Matt Rule. It was about time. Needed to happen. But, I mean, the future of this team, I think Carolina has to tank. I think we have to tank our way to a draft pick. To be honest, but I wouldn't be surprised if the team also, they fought around Steve Wilkes, because Steve Wilkes has been here in Carolina for multiple years, especially during the Super Bowl era with Cam. So I wouldn't be surprised. Kuechly's back in the building too, apparently. So he's going to be handling some situations. So I don't know. Like, I feel like, things are on the rise again with, Matt Rule being out of the place, but the next firing Carolina has to do is with Ben McAdoo. And more than likely, they're going to start P.J. Walker this week against the Rams. P.J. is 2-0 in the NFL as a starter. But I think, okay, the line is plus 10. So I'm actually going to take the Panthers plus 10, but I think the Rams win the game. But yeah, I think it's tank season in Carolina.
What about Bradley Bozeman?
Oh, he could go. He's on a 1-year deal. They won't trade him. He's on a 1-year deal. They'll just cut him.
Yeah, I don't think the Panthers should be too threatful to the Rams. I think they should be able to win this game and cover the spread, which is very large.
I'm rooting for the Panthers because we have the Rams pick, but I just cannot see a way that they win this game. Even though I think PJ Walker is actually like not bad. We joke about it, but I think he's the best quarterback on the roster. But I mean that's like choosing between a bunch of garbage over there. Like I don't know what's gonna happen with Baker.
The Panthers need to they need to draft a quarterback this offseason. 100%. It's time. Okay. I don't know, man. Like we'll see what they decide to do. Like Matt Corral is interesting, but he's a very raw talent. So we'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually think Christian McCaffrey is like possible to be traded there.
No, you're right. I think McCaffrey could be traded, but it's very unlikely.
Apparently the Bills want him.
No, that's actually an incorrect report. The Bills have not even reached out. I don't know where you got that report from.
It was on you saw that report, Hudson?
I saw someone
Someone
saw Tom Pelissero reported that there was no talking between the Bills and the Panthers, maybe because somebody reported that for clout.
I'm gonna find that report real quick. Okay, yeah, it was the fucking it was this account called Sideline Gridiron on Instagram, which is like sideline sources for football. But I don't know, it doesn't say the source, but yeah, whatever. That probably is bullshit then. But yeah, I think the Panthers will make a couple trades, get some picks. I hope.
I want to say the few players that I don't think are getting traded. Like I want to list you guys the players that are not getting traded. 100%. J.C. Horn, no way. Derek Brown, and let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me. J.C. Horn, no way. Derek Brown, no way. Frankie Louvu, Jeremy Chin, Brian Burns, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, Ike Ekwonu, and that's it. Those 8, I feel like the Panthers shouldn't trade. McCaffrey's the only exception, I think, that could be traded. Those 8 are untouchable and/or
you didn't throw Taylor Moton in there?
No, I'm not because Moton's contract, he can be traded. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did either. But I'd be shocked though. I'd be shocked on that one. But he can be traded.
I'm only iffy about CMC and Derek Brown.
Derek Brown's young, man.
He is.
And he's a freak. Okay, again, we don't really give defensive line, the recognition that it should because they're in the trenches. But Derek Brown has been really good. He's a force in the middle. Because obviously, I know you guys don't watch Panthers games with intent, but Derek Brown has been really good in the middle. He's really young. So I would not trade him at all. But like I mentioned, McCaffrey's the only guy. I wouldn't be opposed to trading Shaq Thompson. I wouldn't be opposed to trading Dante Jackson. CJ Henderson can fuck off.
Yeah, he sucks.
He's trash. Robbie Anderson can go. I would like to keep Shi Smith and Terrace Marshall.
What about Yetur Gross-Matos?
Yetur can go too. He's young, but he's got a lot of value. He can go. This team needs to rebuild, but Steve Wilkes is the right guy, in my opinion. To be the leader of this locker room. He's got experience. He knows what he's doing with this organization. So there could be a chance that this team, rallies around Steve Wilkes. But it's just very unlikely. If they somehow, by any chance, beat the Rams this weekend, their season could be back on track. But I highly, highly, highly doubt it. But I will say the Rams are struggling. We'll just transition into that game. I don't know what's going on with LA. It doesn't make sense.
Before we talk about what's the timetable for Baker?
Okay. There's conflicting reports because there's the report from the Panthers camp that says he's day to day and he could possibly play this week. And there's also the report that says he's out 2 to 6 weeks. So my thought is that I don't think he's going to play this week. He'll probably be ready though next week. What's my assumption?
Okay, but yeah, the Rams look like ass. Their offensive line is like the biggest reason that they're losing games. Like
that's another reason why I think the Panthers might have a chance in this game. It's just because the Rams D line or O line has been trash, and Brian Burns has not yet to have a monster game in terms of sacks. I think he had 2 sacks against the Niners, but they were measly sacks. I think this is the game where Burns could have a monster game. And if the Panthers force pressure on Stafford, like they could win this game, but yeah, very unlikely.
Yeah, the offensive line has been terrible. And yeah, they kind of just have not been really clicking. And the run game has been non-existent as well. I've been very disappointed with both. With Cam Akers, like I don't agree with the 50-50 split, bro. Like it's head scratching to me how they started the season off with that split. I just didn't agree. And yeah, it doesn't look good because, and I guess a big reason is because the offensive line is also ass. So like the run game will be ass because of that. The defense is like okay, like the defense has improved. But yeah, the O line they cannot put up any points on the board because of the fucking O line. I think they'll win this week. They lost to the Cowboys. Cowboys play the Eagles. Cooper Rush is probably starting. We all picked the Rams against the Panthers, so we can transition to that game. Will the Eagles go 6-0? Yeah, 6-0. Or will the Cowboys win this game?
I want to hear who you guys pick. Go ahead, Suhas.
Shit, I don't even know who I'm picking, but it's just such a tough pick for me. I honestly don't think the Eagles are as good as their record indicates. And if Dak Prescott was playing this game, I think I would pick the Cowboys, even though Cooper Rush has done a solid job. I don't think Cooper Rush is anything more than a game manager. So because it is in Philadelphia, I'm going to take the Eagles in this game.
I'm going to go with the Eagles to win this game also, moving to 6-0. I said last time that they really remind me of that Arizona team who went like 11-0 or something, or like 9-0, whatever it was. I think the Eagles will continue this win streak for a couple more weeks until the playoffs when they completely collapse. But yeah, I do think that the Eagles will win this game no matter who starts at quarterback for Dallas.
Okay. I want to take the Eagles here badly. Like in my head is telling me take the Eagles, but my heart's telling me take the Cowboys, and so I'm going to take the Cowboys. I think that Cooper Rush has been a beast, and I think Dallas's defense has not been talked about, man. I think they forced Jalen Hurts into some mistakes, and I think the Cowboys get the job done on Sunday Night Football. We're about to see Skip Bayless nut his pants on national TV on Monday morning. And I think it's going to be a massive win, and they'll take control of this division.
Yeah, so let's move on to the next game, which is fucking
Cardinals Seahawks.
Oh my god, the Cardinals Seahawks. I'm taking the Cardinals. I love Geno Smith, what he's doing. I think the Seahawks won the trade, but the Cardinals always beat them. The Cardinals always beat the Seahawks. It's like the Seahawks always beat the Niners, and the Cardinals always beat the Seahawks. I'm taking the Cardinals in this. And then the Niners always beat the Rams. I'm taking the Cardinals in this divisional matchup.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go with the Cardinals as well too. Seahawks have looked impressive. It's mainly been Geno Smith that's been looking impressive. Who, to me, I did not think he would be looking like this into the season. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. I think they have the power, and now I think it's next week that Hopkins comes back.
Yeah, next week.
It's next week. He's suspended for 6 games next week.
So then next week, week 7, he'll return. I still think the Cardinals should not have much trouble.
I'm going to take another upset, and I'm going to take the Seahawks this week to beat the Cardinals. I think Geno Smith at home. Metcalf has a monster game, and I think the Seahawks pull off the upset at home. Geno Smith is him, and the Seahawks get the job done.
Okay, and then think we only have a couple more games, or is that the last
That's
one?
it. That's it.
That is the last game, so we can move on to players of the week. Yeah, so give me your. I can start it off with my NFC offensive and defensive player of the week. Actually, I'll do AFC first. So, AFC offensive player of the week. I usually don't like to give it to players of losing efforts, but Nick Chubb had a tremendous game, and I think like he just backs up why I had him as number one in running backs. He had a terrific game. You could have given it to Eckler because he won, but I'm giving it to Chubb. And then defensive player of the week. I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna show some love to some rookies this week. I'm giving it to Derek Stingley. I thought he had a really good game. Picked off Trevor Lawrence once. Had six tackles. Like I thought he had a good game. So I'm giving it to Derek Stingley.
For my AFC Offensive Player of the Week, I'm going to go Josh Allen, 430 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's just really impressive. Like I said before, he proves that he never forgets anything. He's going to always want revenge when you face him. AFC Defense Player of the Week, I'm going to go with Matt Judon for the Patriots, destroying the Lions. 2 sacks in this game, forced fumble, multiple tackles for loss. He's probably been the anchor in this Patriots defense. And he's really been a breakout guy for them ever since signing there last season.
Yeah, AFC Offensive Player of the Week, I'm going to give it to Austin Eckler. Big game against the Browns. One of the main reasons why they won. And then AFC Defense Player of the Week, I'm giving it to Stephon Gilmore. Took over the game with 2 massive big plays down the stretch to give the Colts their second win this season.
Moving on to the NFC, offensive player of the week. I just have my pick right here. Let me go back to. Okay, yeah. I'm going with Taysom Hill. 3 touchdowns. That boy was running all over. Taysom Hill he's probably the most unique player in the NFL. Like, I don't know. Like he plays like 4 different positions. Like he's so valuable sometimes to that team. And he did it all for the Saints. So I'm giving it to Taysom Hill. And the defensive player of the week. Again, like I said, I was shining light on rookies. Kyer Elam stepped up against the Steelers. Thought he had a really good game. Picked off Kenny Pickett. And he just had a really good overall game in general, covering Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, my NFC Offensive Player of the Week was Taysom Hill, but I'll probably go on the losing side of that game. Actually, I don't like to do this either, but I'm going to give it to Geno Smith, who we talked about before, had a really, really great game. 3 touchdowns, I think over 200 passing yards against the Saints defense. Wasn't able to get the win, but it was very, very close. So I think Geno Smith is my guy for that award. NFC Defense Player of the Week, I'm going to go with Micah Parsons. Seems like this guy is at least one of our picks every single week. 2 sacks, a forced fumble, multiple tackles for loss, same as Matt Judon. He helped this Cowboys offense win last week, Cowboys defense, and he obviously proves it. He is going to probably win multiple Defensive Player of the Years in his career.
Yeah, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. It's a tough choice, but shit. I had it in my head for like a brief second. Just completely forgot. I'll get back to that. NFC Defense Player of the Week, though, I'm going to give it to. Oh wait, no, never mind. Justin Jefferson. I'm giving my NFC Offensive Player of the Week to Justin Jefferson. Completely unstoppable on the receiving side of things, and then NFC Defense Player of the Week, I'm giving it to. I wanted to give it to Micah Parsons, but Hudson took my pick, so I'm going to give it to Aaron Donald. On the losing side, still had a monster game against Dallas. I think he had like multiple sacks. But yeah.
Shout out Jeff Wilson, by the way. I wanted to show him some love. Carried my fantasy team this week, but yeah. Moving on to our predictions for next week. Yeah, I guess I can start it off. Starting off with, we can start off with AFC. I'm gonna go with Lamar. I'm gonna go with Lamar against the Giants. Was that your pick?
Yeah, it's fine.
Lamar against the Giants. I think he's gonna have a really good. I think he's gonna have a huge game. And I think Lamar's gonna. I think Lamar's gonna be a stud. And then defensive player of the week. This is tough. Because looking at some of these matchups, like I really don't know who to go with. But I guess I'm going to give it to. I just need to see if he's make sure he's playing. Okay. I'll give it to. Uh, Stephon Gilmore. I wanted to pick a Colts player because I think the Jaguars will lose the game. So Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah, took my pick for AFC Offense Player of the Week, but I'm going to go with Mike Williams instead, who's going to be that wide receiver 2 for the Chargers against the Broncos on Monday Night Football. And for Defense Player of the Week, I know it's his first game back, which I believe he is playing Myles Garrett. I think he's playing, but against that New England line, I think he should be able to have himself a day.
AFC Offense Player of the Week, pretty simple for me. Give me Josh Allen against the Chiefs. Gonna have a monster game. You just know the revenge factor is gonna be there. And then AFC Defense Player of the Week, I'm gonna go with the surprise pick. I'm gonna go with Trey Hendrickson of the Bengals. I think that he will get to whoever's playing QB. Because I just think whoever's on one side, not Ryan Ramczyk, whoever's on the other side of that Saints line, is going to get torched by Hendrickson. And I think he has a big game en route to a big win for the Bengals.
And then NFC Offensive Player of the Week. I mean, it was coming. Justin Jefferson is running wild against the Dolphins. That's my pick. And then Defensive Player of the Week. I'm going to go with my boy Big Play Slay against Cooper Rush. I think the Cooper Rush run comes to an end, and Big Play has a day.
Yeah, for my NFC Offense Player of the Week, I'm going to go Cooper Kupp against this Panthers secondary. I think they're all playing with obviously not a chip on their shoulder, but just knowing that it's their first game without their head coach. So I'm not too sure what that's going to be looking like. First game without their defensive coordinator, which I think isn't going to be, if anything, it will probably be better. But obviously, things are going to be a bit mixed up. And obviously, the game plan with Cooper Kupp, that's going to be something that they're not going to really have prepared with the new DC. NFC Defense Player of the Week, though, I'm going to go with Sean Murphy-Bunting against the Steelers. We saw Kenny Pickett in his debut, 3 interceptions at halftime. That was 2 weeks ago. And against the Bills, he wasn't really much better. I think against this Bucs defense, he's not going to have a much easier time.
NFC Offense Player of the Week, pretty easy for me. Give me Saquon Barkley. I think he has a big game against the Ravens. And then NFC Defense Player of the Week, Micah Parsons is going to just ram through the Eagles. He's going to have a big day. And the Cowboys pull off the upset on Sunday Night Football.
Okay, and that is our picks and our predictions for this week. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below. We'll see you guys later as always. Peace.